Over 300,000 people are obsessed with extreme day trips.
And today we're attempting an F1 extreme day trip to the most iconic place of all.
Welcome to Monaco.
But why are we doing this? The F1 season has just ended and all of the drivers are currently heading back to their Monaco homes for Christmas.
So the chances of seeing a driver whilst we're there are much higher.
Is that a crazy theory?
It's a sensible theory.
Extreme day trips mean you don't have to take any time off work. And with this 24-hour challenge, we'll show you the ultimate F1 fan day trip to Monaco.
Like visiting Charles Leclerc's favourite restaurant, exposing Max Verstappen's daily running route, and even driving an F1 car.
I'm sat in an F1 car.
Will we bump into an F1 driver at the airport?
Or will we miss our flight and get stranded in the world's richest country with nowhere to sleep?
This story might end in the world's richest country, but it all started in London at our first ever F1 watch party.
Good morning and welcome to a rainy London. We have a special day ahead of us today.
We are hosting our first ever Formula One watch party.
So we're in Piccadilly Circus outside Box Bar and we've rented the whole place and filled it with F1 fans.
I was really excited when we came up with this idea to have the watch party, and I was extremely nervous this morning because I thought it could very well be an empty room with just the two of us in.
But we really didn't want to watch the Drivers' World Championship decider on our own.
Okay, there is quite a few people here.
So luckily, as we headed inside, we were pleased to see lots of people.
People have actually showed up. This is going to be the best day.
We put a few posts on our Instagram. We've got about 80 people in this room and the vibe is so good.
There are a lot of Lando fans in here today, and I've just gone and spoke to some new friends, and one girl has flown here from Korea. That's mad!
So tomorrow we will be going to Monaco, but today we see the world champion get decided. Hello, check 1 2, check 1 2. Welcome to the Live the Dash F1 watch party.
So this year we have been testing the cheapest Formula 1 tickets at races around the world.
But at this point, someone stole our camera.
Oh no, how does this work? Hello guys, Morgan M. James, Storyteller of the Year here. I've stolen the Live the Dash camera and I thought we'd go and chat to some of the Live the Dash fans without Live the Dash being here. So let's see who we chat to. I'm here with
Joe.
Now Joe, how far have you travelled to be here today?
From Dublin.
All the way from Dublin?
From Dublin for an extreme day trip for the Formula One with Live the Dash.
Your video has been incredible, so inspiring. Thank you for hosting this event as well. It's been absolutely incredible and keep doing what you're doing because you're smashing it.
I love them so much. I think what they're doing for the F1 community is really important. So I just can't wait to watch their videos next year as well.
So there we go, that's what some of the fans had to say. Back now with Dash.
Let's go!
With a truly overwhelming response to the watch party, there was only one thing left to do.
The formation lap has just ended. It's about to be lights out. This is going to be good.
And we all know what happened next.
Now let's turn to Formula One, and Britain's Lando Norris has won the Drivers' Championship for the first time.
Norris wins the title in 2025.
Well done, mate. I'm so proud. Lando, this is Zach from McLaren. Is this the World Champion hotline? You did it! You did it! Good job.
And although we saw Lando be crowned the 35th and just 11th British World Champion,
we also have 4 more winners in this room, which we are going to pick right now. And we got Jamie in the room. Jamie! Yours. Thank you so much for coming. We're going to be doing plenty more of these next year, and it's great to see you all in person. So thank you for coming. You guys are awesome, and keep living the dash.
if you want to come to an F1 watch party with us next season and win a mystery box full of F1 merch, subscribe to Live the Dash and keep your eyes peeled like a banana for updates.
If you were Lando Norris, what would you do tonight?
I'd be partying in Abu Dhabi.
I'd fly directly home to Monaco.
Wow, that's a good idea.
Maybe we should go and see if he's in.
Tomorrow.
Good morning from Gatwick Airport. It is way too early in the morning, but we have a very big day ahead. We're looking at the board and we are the 6th flight out this morning.
It does feel quite strange walking through an airport with nothing. I don't have any bag.
So let's explain what we're doing, and also why we're doing it, because I have a feeling in the bottom of my tummy that today we are going to meet an F1 driver.
Potentially we might. We really, really might.
But before we do anything, let's get a cup of coffee because it is currently 4:30 in the morning.
That was just what I needed.
What we're attempting to do today is we are trying to fly to another country and then come back in the same day. And we're not the only people that do these. Extreme day trips have become incredibly popular, and that is thanks to this crazy Facebook group. So we're just one of 300,000 people who like to do this.
We tested a few of these earlier this year and we had a really good time. So we thought, with it being the final race of the season, what better way to finish it than with an extreme Formula One day trip to Monaco.
So our flight out this morning is at 6:25, and then our flight home this evening is at 9:10.
But on paper, extreme day trips come with some benefits and some risks.
There is no room for error today.
So let's start with the risks.
Extreme day trips do come with their challenges. One being they're extremely tiring.
And if everything doesn't go smoothly, we are at risk of being stuck and stranded in a foreign country with nowhere to stay.
I have no idea where we are.
Because once we get to France, we also have to get a train all the way to Monaco. So we're playing with planes and trains today, which makes it one level harder.
But there are some clear benefits as well.
Number one, you don't have to take any days off work. And number two, because you're not paying for a hotel, in theory, extreme day trips can be cheaper.
Show me the money.
These flights cost just £67 per person return.
But there is one special reason we've chosen this location and date for our trip.
So our theory is this,
and it's obviously F1 related.
The last race of the season in Abu Dhabi finished last night, and most of the drivers have to be back in the UK at the HQ later this week. So we're thinking they're probably going to fly from Abu Dhabi to Monaco to go home, have a fresh pair of clothes before they head to the UK. I think there's a high possibility we're going to be in Monaco with one or maybe all of the F1 grid. Is that a crazy theory?
It's a sensible theory. It makes a lot of sense.
I think that's pretty foolproof.
So with sky-high hopes for the day ahead,
it's the best extreme day trip in existence.
And an action-packed F1 agenda planned, it was time to get going.
Our gate has just come up on the board, so that is where we're heading now. Let's board our flight to France.
As we boarded the plane,
good afternoon, flight 619, can I get a oh yeah?
We were excited to start ticking off things from our ultimate F1 day trip agenda, like sitting in a McLaren F1 car, exploring the Monegas F1 charity shops, and of course, a special F1 surprise for Jade at the end. But as we came into land, we were about to get a very exciting update about a potential driver sighting.
Thank you so much, cheers. Bonjour, France. We have made it to France, which is the first stop of the day. We actually left early, which I don't think I've ever had on a flight before. So things at the moment are going very well.
You feel a bit tired during the flight because it is so early, but then when you land, you get like this surge of excitement that helps you keep going. We've lost an hour, which is one of the problems of flying this way.
But we still need to get to our final country of the day. But that is just a 30-minute train ride, I believe, if everything goes to plan. We're also walking really fast because you want to try and be at the front of the passport queue.
A few moments later.
We are through security. That all went smoothly. Whilst we were queuing up for passport control, we found out some very juicy and interesting information. Max Verstappen likes to fly around on his private jet, which is called Unleash the Lion. And if you type his plane number into flight radar, you can actually see the flights that he's on. I'm not sure why that's legal, but we found out that he's currently in Milan, he's flying to London, and then he's flying back to Monaco today. A very unusual route. I don't know why he's doing it, but it means that he's definitely going to be in Monaco today. So we were right. The F1 drivers have left Abu Dhabi straight away and come back home to Monaco. So if Max is here, that means the others might be here as well. What do you think about the Max Verstappen update?
It's made me feel excited. And it will have been an overnight flight, so he'll have slept on his private jet, which means he will probably be out and about in a few hours' time.
But now we need to head to the train station, and then it is one straight train all the way from Nice to Monaco. And let's hope there are less delays in France than there are in England.
As is tradition, we will start the timer. I don't want to tempt fate or sound cocky, but it's 9:40 a.m. Our flight home is at 9 p.m. I think we have got a lot of time.
At the end of the day, we'll find out exactly how many hours we got here, but we do have a 20-minute walk now to the train station, so that's going to eat up a bit of time.
As we jumped on the double-decker train, we finalised our F1 Extreme Day Trip agenda, including 3 certified Charles Leclerc recommendations.
We're off the train and we have touched down in Monaco. What is the time now?
10:57 a.m.
Monaco is F1 and F1 is Monaco, so there is plenty of F1 themed things to do here. We're going to try and tick off as many as possible.
Throughout the day, we'll be letting Charles Leclerc control what we do, as he has publicly shared his Monaco recommendations, and as a local lad, it would be silly for us not to listen to his advice. So what is the first thing Charles recommends?
You can go around the Formula 1 track.
Following Charles's advice,
you can actually walk bits of the track, and we're going to walk the track all the way to the most famous part of the track, and that's where we're going to get our first coffee of the day, because Jade actually had a nap on the train, didn't you?
Yeah, and it set me back. It was a mistake. Do not nap on an extreme day trip.
So we set off around the Monaco track, heading for our first pit stop.
To get where we need to get to, we have to walk through the tunnel. Shall we enter? So the cool thing about Monaco is that the racetrack are just normal streets. So if you do have a car, or you wanted to rent a car, you could drive the whole of the Monaco racetrack circuit in your own car. You could also cycle it, you could also run it.
But as it's the second smallest country in the world, it didn't take long before we reached our first stop.
You cannot come to Monaco without visiting the famous hairpin. It is probably the most iconic part of any F1 track in the world. So our first agenda for today is touching it and then going inside for a coffee. And this thing is wet that I'm leaning on. And I'm a little bit nervous because this might be the most expensive coffee that I've ever had. But first, let me go and touch the hairpin.
Touch it! You want to touch it?
Let's go get a coffee.
As we headed inside,
oh, it's busy in here. Very busy.
We knew the coffees were going to cost a small fortune, but we figured that if we're going to realise our dream of spotting an F1 driver today, we'd have to hang around in fancy places. And this place was very fancy.
This morning I was in a freezing cold Gatwick at the airport hotel, and look at me now. Those 2 helicopters could be 2 of the drivers coming in. Maybe.
We have ordered, but without a menu, so we don't know how much the coffees are. So that'll be a nice surprise after we finish them. We are in a 5-star hotel, the Fairmont Monaco, and the view is unbelievable. We actually stayed here a few months ago and we had a mixed experience, I would say. Well, I was wondering if there was another room with a slightly better view of the hairpin, because I'm a big Formula 1 fan and I was hoping to get a really nice view of the hairpin, and we can't really see it that well from our room.
No, this can't be right. Cornflakes, €19.
So once we finish these coffees, we'll then get on with the rest of our day.
Unfortunately for us, we didn't spot any F1 drivers during our morning coffee. And even more unfortunately, we had to fork out €16 for 2 very mediocre tasting coffees. But it was on to the next one.
Our next stop is exciting because we will get to sit in a golden McLaren car. And it's in quite a random spot, it's just in the middle of Monaco.
It was time for number 3.
In and around Monaco, there are a number of statues that have extremely significant value to F1 fans. Under a bridge near Portier is a bronze McLaren car. This is Mika Häkkinen's McLaren from 1998 when he won the Drivers' World Championship. And that is extremely significant today because McLaren, all these years later, have now got another Drivers' World Champion in their ranks in Lando Norris. Oh my goodness, you're so low down and it's so tight in here. Imagine spending an hour and a half, 2 hours in here. It would be so uncomfortable. I can barely fit in here. I always thought I'd be a good F1 driver, but maybe not.
So after taking some pictures and playing around,
I'm sat in an F1 car.
We continued our journey.
So besides walking the track and seeing the statues, another cool thing for free that you get to do in Monaco without even trying is car spotting.
Show me the money.
The cars just driving around this place, the daily drivers in this country are out of this world. Every other car is a Porsche GT3 RS.
But it was now time for our second certified Charles Leclerc recommendations.
For our next stop, we are getting a little bit peckish after all of this walking. And when you're traveling, the best thing to do is take advice from a local.
There's a sushi restaurant in the market that is super good.
Our local is Charles Leclerc.
The market is just up these stairs. Let's go get some sushi.
But as we got within touching distance of Charles Leclerc's recommendation, disaster struck.
We have hit a stumbling block because I wasn't actually aware that this was a thing, but Monaco is a Catholic country and they celebrate something called the Feast of the Immaculate Conception.
Today.
And some things are closed, the sushi place being one of them.
Also, I'm kind of relieved because I can see on the menu they have sushi caviar, €25 a piece.
Charles Leclerc has expensive taste. So we're not going to be able to eat at Charles Leclerc's favourite place, but we do have somewhere in reserve. So we're going to go there now because we are getting a bit hungry. But what I think is interesting is that there is a food market in Monaco. I wouldn't associate those two things together.
The food here also looks really good. So during race weekend, this place is always packed because it's in the free fan zone. But it's also pretty good food by the looks of it. It smells amazing in here.
Our backup eatery today is a legendary spot in Monaco. It's well known for being one of the drivers' favourite restaurants, and a lot of people that have eaten in there have actually spotted or been sat next to an F1 driver. So if we're really lucky today, maybe that'll happen. If not, we're going to get some food at Le Tip Top. Le Tip Top.
This restaurant has been around since 1938. It plays motorsport on the TV all day, and the walls are covered with F1 memorabilia and pictures of the famous drivers that have passed through the doors. The food was a decent price, and I even had some snails because, after all, we are basically in France.
Lunch at Le Tip Top was tip top.
I feel replenished, I'm rejuvenated. Ryan ate a snail. And we're ready for the second part of the day. One thing that I'm worried about is that there is no sign of any drivers. We've not even had a sniff of them. So I'm hoping that our luck might change this afternoon.
But we've got to keep positive and keep our eyes peeled like a banana.
Although we'd now ticked off a fair few things,
we're now heading to tick off the next thing on our list, but there are a few things that we will not be doing. And that's because we did them very recently. But if you're an F1 fan, you have to go to the Prince's car collection. It is filled with the most insane collection of cars that you have ever seen. And he actually sometimes rings up the reception to take them out.
Another thing we're not doing is we are not going to go in the famous Monaco swimming pool because it is actually closed in December. But if you were doing this extreme day trip in the summer, it only costs about €6 for the day to go in there.
And the other thing that we are not doing is actually one of my favourite things to do here in Monaco, and it's the viewpoint. It's quite a long walk to get there and a long walk back into Monaco, but I don't realistically think that we have time to do that today.
But as we headed towards another Charles Leclerc recommendation, we discovered that Monaco do Christmas a little differently to other countries.
The first thing I've noticed about this Christmas market, there is a red carpet that runs the entire length. Do you get that at Winter Wonderland?
You do not.
And as we were passing through, I couldn't resist a quick adrenaline hit.
I'm about to ride a sledge at the Monaco Christmas market. Wish me luck.
And it's lights out and away we go!
That is exactly what Max Verstappen must feel like when he is hurtling around these streets in an F1 car. Merci beaucoup. There was a minimum spend on card for the sledging, so I had to buy 8 slides. So I was about to buy 8 slides, and she was like, all for you? And she was like, you can have one on me. So I got 1 free slide. You would never get that at Winter Wonderland. So we're wandering around the Christmas market, and we've figured out why the swimming pool is closed. It's because it is currently an ice skating rink.
I would have never thought that Monaco would be a good Christmas market destination. It's very fancy, it feels quite upmarket, but the prices, they seem cheaper than Winter Wonderland in London. The food all look pretty good, and they've even got a roller coaster. If you're looking for a Christmas market recommendation that isn't an obvious one, try Monaco.
But what I am disappointed about, I thought there might be some Formula One Christmas merchandise that you might be able to get your hands on, but that doesn't seem to exist here. But I'm getting F1 withdrawal symptoms, so let's move on to something more F1 related.
So it was time to pick back up with our local travel agent, Charlie. And after a disastrous lunch reco, he had a lot to make up for.
So although the local recommendation that we had for lunch did not go well, we're going to trust Charles Leclerc again, because he also recommended that you should go to the beach when you're in Monaco.
And go to the beach. It's always very nice. Larvoto, it's called.
That is where we're headed now. We're heading to the beach where all the F1 drivers hang out.
Monaco has a lot of things going for it, but the beach isn't one of them.
What is this?
I think if these building works weren't happening, maybe it would be nice.
I think at this point we are going to have to stop trusting Charles Leclerc's recommendations.
Go to the beach. It's always very nice.
Everything we do moving forward is going to have to be off our own back. It may be December, but someone's just got out of swimming in the sea. Shall I see how cold it is? It's actually not that bad. The view from this beach is crazy. Monaco's the second smallest country in the world, so instead of building out, they build up. So everything's really high rise. I can't even imagine how much one of these costs. I'm going to guess one of those apartments, I'm going to guess 15 million.
Show me the money.
We're walking past a very fancy looking beach bar. I'm looking in very intently to see if we can see any drivers, but there's not one.
There is a guy that looks like Carlos Sainz, but he's clearing away glasses, so I don't think that's him.
It's not him.
During our trip, we wanted to pick up a souvenir to take home. And because Monaco is where 90% of Formula One drivers live,
we have a theory that we want to test out.
Formula One drivers must have so much free F1 merchandise that they don't know what to do with it. And when you have too much stuff, normal people give it away to charity shops. So
we think that charity shops in Monaco will potentially have some amazing Formula One merch for quite cheap. So we have found a place called the Queen Bee and we're about to see what we can find in there. I'm hoping that we're going to find some affordable F1 memorabilia that is way cheaper than buying it during a race weekend, but we're about to find out.
Although our idea sounded pretty good on paper, unfortunately, it seems like charity shops as we know them in the UK don't really exist in Monaco, because this shop was more like a treasure chest of luxury vintage clothing.
Unfortunately, we had absolutely no luck in the charity shop. There wasn't even a sniff of F1 merch in there. However, if you want to go shopping for a designer pair of shoes, it was genuinely the most insane shoe collection I've ever seen, and it was about 6 times cheaper than if you bought them brand new. But if you want Formula One memorabilia, that's not the place to go.
But luckily, I do know a place where we can go and get some amazing F1 merch.
We headed to the gift shop of the Prince's Car Collection Museum, and although we were tempted by this F1 snow globe, we ended up buying 4 Monaco shot glasses to remember the trip. And whilst buying a holiday souvenir is pretty usual behaviour, what we did next is definitely not that normal.
We went on Strava and looked up every F1 driver to see if they have a running route that they do when they're at home in Monaco. And only one driver has a public Strava profile. He hasn't updated it for quite some years, but Max Verstappen does have a running route around Monaco. Next time I'm here and I have access to a shower, I will try and beat Max Verstappen. Comment below if you think I'll be able to beat him.
But we had one more activity before Jade's special surprise, and it's a staple of any EDT.
When we go on extreme day trips, we like to try and find the cheapest pint in the destination. And Monaco is interesting because it's actually the world's richest country. So I wonder how much the cheapest pint is in the world's richest country. I've done some extensive research, and apparently Brasserie de Monaco has a happy hour that has just started that apparently is the cheapest pint. The concerning thing is it is right on the super yacht harbour. Maybe I didn't do enough Googling. We are a long way from Benidorm. In Benidorm, you could get 6 pints for
for the same price as one in Monaco. Does that surprise me? No. And to be fair, the happy hour isn't actually on yet. So if it was happy hour and you were getting 2 for 1, then that would actually be a pretty good deal. How are you feeling? You look a little tired.
I feel a bit tired. We're on the final countdown now. So this is either going to go one of two ways. It will perk me up or I'll go under.
But what Jade doesn't know is that I have one last, quite ambitious challenge for us before we get on our flight, which actually isn't in Monaco at all. It's in another country. The sun is beginning to set in the south of France. We're about to get back on the train and head towards the airport, but not back to the airport. The secret location and activity is about to be revealed. Let's get on this train and let's go there because we are running out of time. As we boarded the train, we had 2.5 hours until our flight, and Jade was a little skeptical about my surprise.
I have no idea where we are, but I'm hoping for the best.
And this doesn't seem like a time where you need sunglasses.
I'm very tired.
We are no longer in the safe refuge of Monaco. We're in the deep, dark outskirts of Nice. I found an e-simulator racing place just next to the airport. And Lewis Hamilton has been there, and so has Pierre Gasly. It does look like a bit of a shady area. Okay, the map has sent us down here.
This is not good.
This doesn't strike me as the sort of place that Lewis Hamilton hangs out. But it's always darkest before dawn. Oh, I think that might be it. There is quite literally light at the end of the tunnel. Yes! We have found it. The racing zone. We do not have long at all. Maybe one race at a push. As we headed inside, bonsoir. We were greeted by the nicest French petrol head, and we were asked to choose a car to drive and a race circuit. And then it was time to follow in Lewis Hamilton's footsteps and jump into the eSIM.
I've never done one of these before. This seems a lot more technical than I was expecting.
So this is what racers actually use to test out different setups for their cars. There's hydraulics underneath us, as well as the eSIM. So it's super realistic. And let's just say, our F1 debut is a long way off.
Right.
Huh?
My fastest lap was 8 minutes.
8 minutes?
8 minutes, because I went round the wrong way for the first one.
The perfect ending to our extreme day trip. Well, actually, the most perfect ending would be us getting on this flight on time.
Yeah.
We jumped in a taxi to the airport with just 1.5 hours until our flight, and we had one last thing to do. We're back at the airport. The important thing is now, let's stop the timer.
I think that's the longest we've had in a destination on an extreme day trip. It's like a full day.
We definitely packed a lot in. We made our flight home in the nick of time, and when we were on the runway, we even thought we caught a glimpse of Verstappen's plane taking off. But after further investigation, we were wrong. No F1 drivers today, but no holiday days used. It's 10:30 and we're back in the UK. It's time for bed. We'll see you in the next one.